Have you taken our time to read the raw copy? Over 200 pages of deposition, because I want to interrogate the raw copy.
Definitely.
Have you read everything?
Yes, I've read everything.
You've read everything. Are you sure?
Definitely.
Okay, good. So let me take you first to the part where the school talked about the fact that they didn't give the certificate that he submitted to INEC. You're a lawyer by training. There's something called the Evidence Act. Before you put forward a document that can be submitted under oath, it has to be issued by the authority issuing body.
Yes.
Mr. Tinubu submitted a document that in this deposition, CSU said they did not issue. Number one, what's that your interpretation of that? Secondly, if you submit a document, you claimed an authority issued and the authority claimed they didn't issue it. What's your interpretation of that? Secondly, Mr. Faratimi, I want to go straight to the facts. They talked about the case of Mr. Orr in the deposition, and I'm sure have you read the deposition fully?
I won't lie to you that I have. Unlike
Okay.
Mr. Azan, I haven't read everything.
Okay, they talk about a certain Mr. Orr that after they dealt with the certification process that left CSU, and they didn't know the circumstance at which they left CSU. They also confirmed that they gave Mr. Enarueba document, because some people have been lying that Mr. Enarueba didn't subpoena CSU. They confirmed that they gave him document. They even further revealed that the normal template that the president graduated from CSU was written many years ago, and they just used it to respond to email of people that make inquiries. They also further talked about the fact that they have no authentication as regards that Southwestern College. So the CSU themselves confirmed that they don't have any means to be able to authenticate if the records any students submitted to them is valid or not. Because I've read in details this, so that's why I'm asking you if you've read properly, because I want to deal with facts. So these are some of the facts on ground. Number one, I'd like to ask you, if as a lawyer, an issuing body that you claim gave you a document said they did not give it to you, and you submitted that document under oath, what does that mean?
In the circumstance of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, stricto sensu, there was a missing, he requested for a reissuance of a certificate. And this is the diploma certificate we are talking about. And there are procedures in American system of education whereby documents, not all documents, especially certificates, they outsource printing of certificates in their own system. Their system is not like the way we run our own educational system, primary, secondary. So far, you have all the prerequisites, and from their own records, it's just like their records standing against them now. You cannot appropriate and reprobate. The finality, which I'm still telling you, is the fact that from the article's point of view, they need to still subject that to a thorough investigation, and that is where we want to maintain.
Sorry, can I come in? Can I come in? It's obvious, sir.
No.
You didn't read the document. Hang on a minute, because it's obvious you didn't read the document.
No. You have just asked me a question.
No, let me finish.
That's the same way.
Let me finish.
You always preempt.
Let me finish.
The person who's answering.
My brother,
we come
a long way. Are you emotional blackmail?
No, I don't.
You are chief of blackmail.
No, you have come.
So let me please.
Can you retrieve that?
Let me speak.
Your
emotional blackmail cannot work
that statement.
Secondly, you have not read the document.
I will not continue to answer your question.
You have not read the document, because if you have read the document,
stop to answer your question.
If you have read the document,
Mr. Rufai, please go back and retrieve that statement, or else let me answer.
I will not retrieve the statement because
let me now go to
emotionally
if any other person answer.
So moving on.
No.
Okay,
please direct your question somewhere.
Let me make my points. If you have read the document, it shows that CSU actually sent another document that was made for Tinubu to Enarueba. And there was discrepancy. That's why CSU said they did not print out that document that particularly was sent to INEC. Mr. What's it called? I would like to come to you. Mr. Dele Faratimi. Please, can you comment on all the facts I have brought out?
See, facts don't matter in Nigeria any longer. That's just the truth. It's gotten to the point where alternative facts have taken over the space and truth itself have become completely subjective and transactional. The depositions are clear and they are not ambiguous. The person representing CSU was unequivocal in declaring that the certificate submitted to INEC by the man known as Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not emanate from them. That is a matter that should be conclusively dealt with and forgotten about. Whether the Nigerian courts will find that as sufficient basis to do the needful, that's another argument that we can have at another time. But that we're still arguing about what has been conclusively proven in the deposition speaks a lot to the kind of country that we have become. Now, when you now speak about a missing document, the person went to school, we now begin to dig to the substance of the issue. You now begin to have to answer the question. The document submitted to CSU itself showing that it was a female that had the qualification to enter the place, nobody is talking about that. If we are not going to be dealing with the substance and we are just dancing around the issue, we can't even agree on what is not or what should not be argued about that is already clear in the face of the deposition, that this document marked A that was given to INEC by Mr. Tinubu did not emanate from the body that was purportedly issuing the document. The body came out clearly. Now, whether Mr. Tinubu attended the university, whether he attended having the right qualifications, whether he lied about the schools he attended, whether Government College Lagos was found in 1970 or 1974, that's another story entirely. And the deeper you dig into this, the messier it becomes. And I actually think that we have a duty not to allow truth to become transactional and subjective. Facts on the ground are clear. The certificate submitted by Mr. Tinubu is a forgery. That is not my opinion. That is what the registrar of the school has declared on oath. So what our own courts would do with it is what they are prepping for with all these alternative narratives and facts that they are spewing. Oh, so I have a driver's license, but I forgot my driver's license and I have now forged one so that I might prove that I actually had one issued to me. It's still a forgery.
Okay, two quick comments.
That's what he said?
Yes, that's exactly what he said. Because when Atiku's lawyers drew his attention that have you ever seen a copy of this certificate that Tinubu presented to INEC in Nigeria as a qualifying certificate to contest election, his answer was, I have only seen this certificate in the course of the proceedings in Nigeria. It is not on our records in Chicago State University. And we cannot certify that we issued this certificate. And that is true. Because if you look at the documents released to Atiku, particularly document 0026, it speaks volumes as to whether or not that said Bola A. Tinubu actually graduated from Chicago State University. And why do I say so? Because the document says the student failed English and is required to go back and sit for English 222. And there is no further record to show that Bola A. Tinubu went back to sit for that particular course, which was a requirement, a condition precedent for admission into Chicago State University. Mind you, the Bola A. Tinubu, who in one instance is female, in another instance is male, what was presented as the qualifying certificate for admission into Chicago State University was a GCE certificate purportedly obtained from Government College in 1970. And Government College Lagos, which is supposed to be the issuer of that same certificate, was not in existence up until 1974. And if you look at the subjects that are contained on the GCE certificate, it was physics, chemistry, and biology. There was no mathematics and there was no English. and the requirements for you to graduate from Chicago State University is that you must have a credit in English and in mathematics. So if you look at the deposition documents, particularly document 0017, document 0026, document 0027, document 0028, document 0029, and document 0032. They speak volume about the said Bola A. Tinubu, who was supposed to have been a student of Chicago State University, but who never qualified to be issued a certificate because he never graduated from the university. It is possible for a student to go to a school because education is a process. Now, you get admitted, you undertake lectures, you write exams, you do for higher education, you do something like maybe a long essay or a project or a thesis or a dissertation. Upon the completion of all of this, if you have passed every subject, then you're issued with a certificate evidencing the fact that you were a graduate of this university.
Do they issue certificates? Or because what I learned is that the certificate is always issued once. And
no, but
whatever
upon
you
graduation,
ask for,
upon graduation,
but
you
when
are issued with a certificate. Now, in 1979, no certificate was issued
at
to
that
any
time.
Bola A. Tinubu.
No certificate.
That's what the registrar says. That's what they said. No certificate was issued. And
But
if you look at the type of
registrar,
certificate...
sorry, please,
Yes.
let me ask this. The registrar admitted that Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended the school.
Attendance is one thing. Graduating from the school and earning a certificate is another different thing altogether. Education through the university or through that is a process. It's not an event. You can be admitted to ABU Zaria today for a 4-year program course. You can do up to the 3rd year. You can do even up to the 4th year. Now, if you have carryovers, you are required to go back and remedy those carryovers.